Hello, my name is Stephanie Toman, and this is a series of videos that's looking at Excel for project reports. So hopefully there'll be some areas in here that will be useful. Starting with the basic Excel in Office 365, this is something just to look over, have a watch, if you need to familiarise yourself with the 365 version. It's not a great deal of differences. There are differences within importing and the fact that we use notes instead of comments. So things have become much more collaborative in that version. Basic Excel getting started is also an area of, it's got resources, this one. If you do want to go in and have a try with it or a practice, you've not been used to using Excel before, or you may be somebody that hasn't used it for some time and wants to get familiar. And this is in the 2016 version. What's on at the university PCs. There's also areas covering managing workbooks, text to columns, conditional formatting, mixed cell references, filter and advanced filters, which is really useful for extracting information. And then you've got your custom sorting, functions, quite a large area across that. And then obviously the representation of data and how you do that through the charts and more and pivot tables. What I'd like to do on this video is have a quick look at Office 365, some of the differences that you might note. Because if I ran every video using 365 exactly the same information, that would be wasting all of our time. So what I'd like to do is pull out some areas that you might notice or not notice as a beginner. Some of the areas, as I said, we'll look at will be how it looks a bit different, how we can change the way that it looks, which is one of my preferences, but not everybody's, and view it in editing versions and how they can be shared, and opening up, sometimes having to open up a 365 application on it as a desktop version so that you can access all of the features that you would from a desktop version. So we're going to have a look at that together. Okay, so here I've got some workbooks in my OneDrive, which makes them very collaborative. As you may or may not know, if you use the three little dots, you can see how you can share and you can manage that sharing just like you've got manage access there. So when you share, you can restrict to certain things. You can copy a link of it and send it around. You can do the usual deleting, renaming, moving to, etc., and downloading, which would bring it where you can work on it as a downloaded version. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up and we're going to see how it looks in this view. So we're clicking on it. Right, so you can see that this looks pretty much like the 2016 version, Office 2016. Quite a lot of similarities there, just slightly different in the pictures, etc. We've got this little tool here, the ribbon display options it's called. If you click on it, I've got mine in classic view. So if I if I just change it now to single line ribbon, which is what it comes up by default automatically, you can see it's a bit different. So you have to click on things to see the areas within it. So it really depends on your preference. But personally, I like the other view. I think it's probably, oops, not that one, this one, just here. It's probably because it makes sense to me because I've been using, I use Office 2016 quite a lot and other versions. So it's similar to me, it seems so. Also in that little area, you've got this automatic hide. So if you put that on, then as you go towards your ribbon, it will appear. As a beginner, it's maybe not such a good idea because, let's put it back to always show, because you're trying to learn where things are as well as using the application. So to see it happening and constantly there is really quite useful with regard to learning a new application. So that's the sort of thing that I think. So you've got your tool tips just like everywhere else. What's going on, you can look at them. You might notice that when some of them, they've got automatic tooltips, but some of them are a little bit, need a little bit more. That's not what sort of working on these areas. That brings me on to the idea that how you can look at these, collaborative applications, this one Excel. We're still in basic mode. We're just thinking about it from a OneDrive and a SharePoint sort of view. And you can see here you've got this in editing view. You drop that down. You can have it in viewing option only so that people can view it, or you're viewing it but not making any changes. And then if you need to do quite a lot of different things using a lot of features in your workbook or spreadsheet, or you've opened a workbook or spreadsheet from an Office version, for example 2016, and it's got quite a lot of features within it, then it will say to you that it can't really open it in this version. So could you open it in desktop application, and that way you can access a lot more of those things. So you can see here it says it's opening. And then once it does that, this is the desktop version. You can see it's pretty much the same thing. When you click on it, it does look very much like 2016 or Office 2016 would be the correct way. We all go around saying 2016, 365, and we all sort of understand what we're talking about. But you can see that this has the features, and then when I do hover on them, the tooltips are available. So even something as little as that has changed with regard to accessing features. So a lot more features in here than unless you're doing a basic workbook and you want to keep it online, maybe on OneDrive and share it, that's fine. But if you want to do more, as you will do, more and more videos and more work on Excel, you'll start to use and become a lot more adaptable. I hope that helps with regard to Office 365 and how a great little package it is, and how it can be used across versions and to share amongst ourselves as well. Okay.